Hello, good morning, one and all. This is again your Virat Kumar, lecturer in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the Institute of Government Polytechnic Vaddepalli with the same semester of 4 AC machines 18 EE403C. Today's new topic, today we have a new topic in our hands, that the topic is alternator, which is nothing but AC generator. AC generators are also called as alternator. And in that we are going to see for today is principle and construction of alternator. Is that clear? So today we are going to see principle and construction of alternator. So let us move into the topic. So here you can see the alternator diagram which I have just animated over here. The main objectives are, on completion of this class you will be able to know the principle of alternator, construction of alternator, and working of alternator. So in this session we are going to see about the principle of alternator, construction of alternator, and working of alternator. Moving on to the next slide. A slight introduction. That is, what is an electrical machine? Electrical machine that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy and vice versa. That is called a machine. So it does both the operations. That is, from mechanical energy into electrical energy and electrical energy into mechanical energy. If the same device does the both operations, then it is called a machine. Either it is a motor or generator, depends on type of energy conversion. Either it is a motor or generator, depends on type of energy conversion. The alternator converts mechanical energy into electrical energy and it gives up the AC output. The principle of alternator. The alternator works on the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. The alternator works on the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. What are the Faraday's laws? We'll see. First law: whenever a conductor cuts magnetic flux and changes, whenever a conductor cuts magnetic flux changes, an EMF is induced. What is second law? The induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. So here you can see the first law is, whenever a conductor cuts magnetic flux changes, then an EMF is induced. And what is about second law? The induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages. And here we will see the alternator function. Here the alternator converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Here you can see this is the stator frame and this is the stator poles and this is the rotor of salient pole. And when we try to rotate this with some prime movers, then this conductor cuts the magnetic field change. This is a field changes, then an EMF is induced in that. Now, types of alternators. There are generally two types. One is rotating armature type and the other is rotating field type. Actually, you may be learned in your DC machines that we just call the stator part as field and the rotating part as armature in the DC. As per as concerned in the DC, that actually the armature will induce the EMF, and that is called a conductor actually, and the field is used only for just to produce a magnetic field, and it is not way any supply producing device. It is just to magnetize the core, since we use the iron material for the poles. So in order to get magnetized, we use the field winding. So one is field and the other is armature. So always, if you want to give the supply or take the supply from a device, that is done only through armature. So here we have two types. One is rotating armature type and the other is rotating field type. So we have seen rotating armature type for DC machines, that is for small capacity machines, and now we are seeing for rotating field type. This is for large capacity machines. So for DC machine, it is a rotating armature type. It produces very less amount of EMF, and whereas in order to get a huge EMF, huge capacities, there will be a rotating field type. You can see over here that is for large capacity machines. And all the thermal power stations in all over the world, you can see that these are the rotating field type alternators are used. Now we'll move on to the parts of alternator. Let us see the parts of alternator. What is actual alternator? Alternator is also called as an AC generator. And the parts of alternator, there are two main parts. One is stator and the other is rotor. And the stator has stator frame, stator core, and stator winding. Similarly, the rotor has field poles and winding, shafts and bearings, slip rings, brushes and brush holders, spider and exciter and exciter. See the diagram over here. We have all the parts clearly mentioned over here. What the stator has and the rotor has. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Alternator. The following visual shows the cross-section view of alternator. In the previous slide, we have a very smaller picture, and you can see the enlarged picture over here. You can see here, this is stator frame, and this is the stator core, and this is core winding with some end rings, and this is a cage bars, and this is the rotor. This is rotor cage winding rotor, and we have an exciter with brushes, and these are the slots, and these are the bearings, rings, the spider, all this, and these three are the stator terminals, and these are legs in order to support. Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Constructional details of alternator. Firstly, we'll see the stator frame. It is made of cast iron and gives mechanical support to the machine. It is made of cast iron and gives mechanical support to the machine. Stator core. It is made of laminated silicon steel, and it has slots on its inner periphery to accommodate the conductors. And to minimize the eddy current losses, the stator core is laminated. As we all know, we have studied in the DC machines also that there won't be a solid material to be used for stator core. Since if so, then you will be getting eddy current losses and hysteresis losses. So in order to avoid them, we just use the thin sheets with the laminations of the core. So that is why the last point here mentioned is to minimize the eddy current losses, the stator core is laminated. That means the stator core is cut into thin sheets and laminated each other. Stator of alternator. The following visual shows the stator of an alternator. So this visual shows you the stator of an alternator, and you can see over here this is the stator frame in order to support this from mechanical stresses. And this part you can see the stator core, which is made up of silicon steel. In the previous slide we have seen in the previous slide, and you can observe that this is not a solid piece of the core. You can see these lines in that. That means it is cut into thin sheets, and these sheets are laminated each other in order to avoid eddy current losses. So that is why this is called a core laminations. And in between we have air ducts in order to cool it. This is the stator, the visual of stator of an alternator. In the continuation of constructional details of an alternator, the laminations are made in complete rings for smaller machines, in segments, and for larger or machines. The laminations are made in complete rings for smaller machines, in segments for larger or machines. And the stampings have openings to provide cooling. The stampings have openings to make axial and radial ventilating ducts to provide cooling. Similar to that of a transformer, there will be some heat produced in the windings. So in order to cool them, we produce some ventilating ducts to cool down the heat. So the stampings have opening to make axial and radial ventilating ducts to provide cooling. And here you can see the alternator original picture. In the thermal or idle power stations. You can see there are many units, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Each is called a unit. So these are the practical alternators you can just observe in the generating stations. And in the alternators we have two types. One is salient and non-salient actually. That is projected poles and smooth cylindrical. So these are projected poles type of alternators. Since these have larger in diameter and smaller in axial length. So you see this is called axial length. This will be small and larger in diameter. It will be large in diameter. You see this is the center. So from here to this is radius and again to the down. And the smooth cylindrical will be observed that smaller in diameters and larger in axial length. Here the alternator, you can see the connections. This is a rotating field type and this is an armature. We just take the supply from the armature and that is connected to the slip rings through brushes. You can just observe over here. So this is just a simple connection diagram how the supply is taken to the load. Okay, moving on to the next. Slots. What is slots actually? And types of slots. We have open type of slots, semi-closed type of slots, and closed type of slots. Generally, a slot is defined that it is a house for windings. Generally, a slot is the house for the conductors or windings, where all these windings are embedded in the slots. So that is why the slots are made. So the types of slots are open type of slot, semi-closed type of slot, and closed type of slots. And types of slots contain, you can see the diagrams over here. This is an open type of slot, wide open, and this is a semi-closed type of slot, and this is totally closed. Now you can see here the open slots are used for form wound, and it gives least expenditure and more satisfactory. And the semi-closed or do not permit the from wound coils. To tally closed are serially used, it increased winding cost. So you can see the diagrams over here that open type of slot, semi-closed and totally closed. The open type of slots are used for form wound, and it gives least expenditure and more satisfactory. That if any winding gets damaged in the open type of slot, you can easily remove the winding and replace the winding with a newer one. So it may cost only for the winding. So that is why it is least expenditure and more satisfactory. You can repair and reuse it again and again. And the semi-closed do not permit the from wound coils. So from this to this, it won't be very easy to form wound coils. And Italy and totally, it is totally closed are serially used with increased winding cost. So if this winding gets damaged, then it cannot be used, it cannot be removed or used and again and again. So this is like a use and throw. So you need to buy a newer one, so it costs high. Slots. Disadvantages of open type of slots. The main disadvantage of open type of slot is it distributes the air gap flux into tufts which produce ripples in the generated EMF. This is EMF. Actually, in most of the generators or alternators, we just use open type of slots, but there is a disadvantage in it is that it distributes the air gap flux into tufts which produce ripples in the generated EMF. particular comparison of slots. I can see the columns over here like serial number, open, semi-closed, closed slots, and then this first one is reluctance. In open type of slots, the reluctance will be more, and in semi-closed it is medium, and in closed it is less. Regarding reluctance, the value of reluctance is more in open type, medium in semi-closed, and less in closed. Similarly, coil insertion or removal. That means if any winding gets damaged, then it should be removed and inserted again. So the coil insertion or removal will be easy in open type and also easy in semi-closed type, and it is difficult in closed type since it is closed. Coil support. So since it is open, so the coil support will be less in open type, more in semi-closed, and more in closed type. Right? This supports the coil support. The coil support will be very less in open type, more in semi-closed, and more in closed type. Once again, coming to stator winding, that the conductors are placed in a stator core slots and they are made up of copper. The conductors are placed in a stator core slots and they are made up of copper. And it can also be called as armature as in DC machines. Coming to rotor, the field excitation to the rotor is provided by a small DC shunt or compound generator, and it is mounted on the same shaft of the alternator, and the power rating is normally 0.3 to 1% of power rating of alternator. You see the rotor, that the field excitation, as I said you, the rotor is a field, it should be magnetized since it is a core iron material. So the field excitation to the rotor is provided by a small DC shunter compound motor. So in order to get magnetize it, we need to give a supply to it. So that is given by a small DC shunter compound generator, and that is mounted on the same shaft of the alternator. Since it also consists of armature, it should also be rotated. So that is why it is mounted on the same shaft of the alternator, and it consumes the power normally of 0.3 to 1% of power rating of alternator. For example, if it consumes the 100 watts, if it generates 100 watts, then that DC shunter compound generator consumes 1% means 1 watt, or 0.3 watts to 1 watt. Types of rotors. As I've said you previously that there are two types of rotors. One is salient pole type, which is called projected poles type, and the other is non-salient pole type or smooth cylindrical type. Salient pole type or projected pole type. It is used in low and medium speed alternators. They are made up of steel laminations and riveted together and are fixed to the rotor by dovetail joint. And the pole faces are provided with slots for damper winding. In the previous when I have showed you the alternator in a generating station, the structure is regarding salient pole type only. It is used in low and medium speed alternators, and they are made of steel laminations riveted together and are fixed to the rotor by dovetail joint. The pole faces are provided with slots for damper winding. In continuation of salient pole type of rotor, damper windings are used to prevent hunting, and the field coils are provided on pole faces. They are connected in series and converted to a DC source through slip rings. Generally, in order to prevention of hunting by use of damper winding will be mainly seen in the synchronous motors that will be in your fifth semester, that the same device of an alternator can be used as both motor and generator. So when it is used as generator, that is called alternator, and when you use it as motor, then it is called synchronous motor. So this hunting process will be, it takes place in the synchronous motors, and that you will be learning in your fifth semester. So simply you just know only damper windings are used to prevent hunting, and the field coils are provided on pole faces. They are connected in series and connected to a DC source through slip rings. And you can see this is the image of salient type 4-pole rotor. Minimum there will be 2, and maximum you can put any number of poles, depends on your requirement. So this is a 4-pole rotor, north, south, north and south, and these winding to these poles are given by copper is called field winding, that is connected in series to this pole to this and this to this and again this to this, and you will be getting two ends that should be given a supply by DC in order to get magnetized. So this pole is made up of silicon steel or cast iron. Since it is iron, so in order to get magnetized, we'll just give the supply. So this will be magnetized by electrical supply. So it is called electromagnet. So that is electrically magnetized. In continuation with salient pole type of rotor, they have large diameter and shorter axial length. As you can see in the previous, they have large diameter and short axial length. And here you can see the pole shoe covers about 2/3 of pole pitch. The pole shoes cover about 2/3 of pole pitch. They are employed in hydro power stations. Coming to non-salient pole type of rotor, they are used in high-speed alternators, therefore in thermal power stations. You can see here they are used in high-speed alternators, therefore in thermal power stations. And it is a smooth cylindrical laminated core having number of slots on its outer periphery to accommodate field windings. And they are designed for 2-pole or 4-pole alternators for a speed of 3000 rpm or 1500 rpm. And the unslotted position form pole fails. In continuation of non-salient, you can see the pictures over here. Pole area, slots, main flux density. In the slots we have windings, that is called field winding. In continuation with non-salient pole, we have some special features. They have small diameter and larger in axial length. They have less windage losses. They are used in high-speed alternators, and they have good balancing and quieter in operation. So compared to salient and non-salient, salient has large in diameter and smaller in axial length, and there will be huge air gaps and there will be a windage losses also. So here there is a complete smooth cylindrical type of rotor. So the features having in this is they have small diameters and large in axial length, and they have less windage losses since the whole part is covered, and they are used in high speed alternators, that is in nuclear and thermal, and they have good balancing and quieter in operation. It is smooth operation, noiseless operation. And the comparison of salient to non-salient type of rotors, particulars, salient to non-salient. First one, number of poles. There are more in salient and less in non-salient. Coming to speed, less speed in salient, high speed in non-salient. Axial length, less in salient, more in non-salient. Diameter, more in salient, less in non-salient. Usage, these are used in hydropower stations, such as hydro plants, and these are used in thermal plants and nuclear plants. So this is about this today's session. We'll see a summary that in this session we have learned about principle of working of alternator and construction of alternator and working of alternator. And let us see the quiz. Projected pole type or salient pole type of rotors are used in thermal stations, hydro stations, wind power stations, and none. Projected pole types or salient pole types, which is running with less speed, are used in thermal or hydro or wind, none. So less speed, that is hydro stations. We can guess the answer as hydro stations. Let us see. We can see that is hydro stations. And next question. Smooth cylindrical type of rotor are used in the same options may be exist: thermal station, hydro station, solar power plant, and none. Smooth cylindrical is also called as non-salient, that is used for large speed. So the answer will be thermal stations. Since solar power plants use only solar plates to generate the electricity, and this doesn't consist any moving elements. So previously we have seen hydro, that is for non-salient, that is projected poles type, and smooth cylindrical is used for high speeds, that is for thermal stations. Not solar, that was gone mistake. It is thermal power stations is the right answer. The next question, alternator works on the following principle: Faraday's law, Boyle's law, Biot-Savart's law, none. It's very easy to guess. That is Faraday's law. If he tells any other answer, it is wrong. Yes, it is Faraday's law. Let us check. Okay, it is Faraday's law. That is right. The next question, alternator converts mechanical energy to solar energy, heat energy, electrical energy, and none. This is also very simple. Alternator converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. If he says any other, then it is 100% wrong. See, that is electrical energy. There are some frequently asked questions in this session, that is explain the principle of alternator, name the parts of alternator, explain the working principle of alternator, and compare salient pole type rotor with cylindrical type rotor. So that's it for today's session. Thank you one and all, and I hope you all have got some idea about the constructional details of the alternator, types of rotor, and all those things. So thank you, and let's share the video in the YouTube. Please do subscribe, like, and share. And thank you one and all.